So this past weekend, a certain anticipated film opened up. That film was Power Rangers, but it was not necessarily anticipated in a positive way. Even though a lot of stuff came out that made people think this film had potential, such as Elizabeth Banks' Rita, the newly redesigned suits, the more serious tone we were seeing in the trailers, a lot of people were still convinced this thing was going to be crap. And because of this, I was worried this film was going to flop just based on the reputation of its franchise. Power Rangers has been an all-over-the-place mess, but unfortunately, most people just look at it as this dumb kiddie stuff. So I didn't really think this movie had a snowball's chance in hell, but lo and behold, not only did it do pretty good for its opening weekend considering it's going up against a big Disney movie, but it's actually getting pretty good reviews. I mean, for Power Rangers. No one is saying this is the greatest movie ever or a perfect film, but even the most negative reviews I'm seeing, people are going to I still like this stuff in it. So why is that? Why is this the movie that, despite having some hugely major flaws and a lot of critics who still very clearly did not want to like it from the beginning, why is it everyone can't help but get kind of into this? And that's what I'm here today. I'm here to figure out why, because I am the one who knows better. Do not listen to anyone else. Just assume I know everything. I know that's how I get through life. First up, my opinion on the film. I, despite its obvious flaws, really kind of loved this. First up, it's because that as a movie, not as a franchise adaptation, but as a movie, it does what I care about the most. It puts the characters first and makes the plot the forefront. It's not just about throwing in nods and references. There are little nods and references throughout, but this film focuses on the story it wants to tell. What is that story it wants to tell? It wants to tell the story of these 5 teenagers bonding before it's time to save the world. And that's kind of an interesting approach. This movie didn't have the same sort of budget that a Captain Winter Soldier or a Civil War or a Star Wars movie or a DC film has. So it needs to work within budget constraints. But unlike something that can afford to be low budget like Logan or Deadpool, this movie needs big budget level effects to be taken seriously. That's why it saves it all to the last act. I knew this obviously going into it. But what really makes it work is this is a freaking likable as hell cast. Listen to the reviews. Everyone's fallen in love with these actors. And a part of that seems to be that director Dean Israelite seems to know how to work with children. Or, not children, young actors. I remember in his last movie, Project Almanac, which is an okay film at best, he still got pretty good performances out of everyone. The performances in this movie are like Shakespeare compared to that, or even most other sort of teeny type things. All the actors get super into the character and super passionate, and I found them all super fascinating. I really loved it. One scene I'm hearing people talk about a lot is this campfire scene. I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but it really is this quiet moment amongst these characters, and they are the focus. That's why when you get into the big action set piece at the end, rather you think the effects look good, or they look too Transformers-y, or you think they look bad, or no matter what, you're into it. People are legitimately getting into this movie based on the likability of the cast alone. I really enjoyed the last 30 minutes of this movie. It's a big, goofy, fun set piece. People in my theater cheered when the Megazord showed up. I'm not making this up. People got that into it because of how likable these characters are. That is insane. Everyone has such a good arc. Even Zach and Trini, who don't show up till a little bit later than the other 3, all of them feel developed. They all feel like they have good backstories, relatable backstories. I saw an interview with the cast a while back where the Pink Ranger, played by Naomi Scott, said that she thought people would relate to this movie because it brings up things like cyberbullying and being an outcast and stuff like that. I thought, oh no, I know where this is going. This is just going to be a cheesy pander film. No, it does all of this really maturely, and it handles it all very effectively, and a lot of it depends on you, the audience, to get into it. This film treats the audience very intelligently. I think it really respected people. I just thought it was an overall fun movie, but it's not fun because of what people were expecting, and I think that's what's creating a lot of confusion. The action, though enjoyable, is nothing we haven't seen before. The suits, they do look good on screen, but they're not that memorable. Elizabeth Banks I thought was fine. She just comes in and out. She doesn't really have much to do with it. Zordon's fine. Alpha's fine. Zordon actually has a pretty decent arc. Like, all of these elements that are supposed to make the movie great just sort of feel like filler and add-ons to the story of these teens as they learn to work through these greater issues in life and put that forward to become a team. And I kind of love this movie for that. It doesn't try to take the easy way out. It tries the harder thing. Trying to get performances like that out of teen actors is so hard sometimes. Trust me, look at everything on Nickelodeon. But I just felt like this film did such a great job of making the cast work that despite some flaws with the action, and despite the fact that the movie probably could have been 20 minutes shorter, I really think this is a great teen film and a really cool sci-fi movie. I thought the sci-fi elements, and it's got cool car chases into it. It's got the best car chase you'll ever see with a minivan, for Christ's sake. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this movie, why you think it works, why you think it didn't work, because I could still totally see someone not liking this. I could see people having problems with it. But tell me that below, and as always, click to like and click to subscribe, and let's hope we get that sequel.